Almost every single major automaker on the planet is focusing on battery electric vehicles (BEVs), but Toyota is taking a whole different path with a focus on hydrogen fuel cell vehicles (HFC) EVs. Toyota's new CEO, Koji Sato, believes hydrogen is the way forward when it comes to carbon neutrality in the future. In fact, he has so much faith in the technology, he is making big bets that the 16th generation of the Toyota Crown sedan will be a big hit and make some serious waves. The car made its first public outing in FCEV form during the Super Taikyu Fuji 24 Hours race in Japan. The official market launch of the hydrogen-powered model is scheduled for autumn 2023 alongside the identical-looking hybrid variant. So, is Toyota really about to flip the market upside down and force other automakers to enter a new race in hydrogen fuel cell technology, or is it just all fog and an experiment that is part of Toyota's R&D program? Let's explore some of the details. Toyota has been doing more experiments and exploration with hydrogen than some can handle. Thankfully, Toyota is only experimenting with hydrogen combustion engine cars since they are a nightmare and technically speaking not all that great for the environment due to many reasons that we will discuss in a future video. So, thank you Toyota for not putting any hydrogen combustion engine vehicles on the road. Seriously, keep them in the laboratory. After all, this technology is more fit for the aviation industry and large cargo ships too, but not for ground vehicles. However, we do have to salute Toyota for its endless adventures with hydrogen fuel cells since the technology does have immense potential and is, needless to say, one of the top solutions for the range problems that plague BEVs. As you already know, fully battery-powered electric vehicles have a short range, and the batteries are almost always lithium-ion based, which are very dirty and unsustainable, expensive, and a fire hazard to be frank. Additionally, BEVs put a lot more pressure on the power grids than you can imagine, and since most of the world's electricity is still from fossil fuels such as oil and gas or the endlessly dangerous nuclear sector, BEVs are not all that great yet. Because let's face it, with the millions of BEVs on the road today around the world, there is a crisis brewing on the horizon as more are added every day and are leading power companies to build more and more fossil fuel power plants that emit plenty of CO2. So even though BEVs produce no CO2, their source of power does, and in colossal amounts. Additionally, the amounts of lithium and other crucial materials that go into lithium-ion batteries are quite finite and will be super expensive to mine in less than 3 decades unless every single battery made since 2015 and on is recycled. But behold, Toyota's obsession with hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles, HFC, EVs just might be the solution to the brewing crisis in the EBV sector. In case you are wondering what HFC EVs are, they are electric vehicles that do not work on batteries, they work on hydrogen fuel cells that produce electricity for the electric motor. The technology is simple and rather clean. Hydrogen fuel cells produce electricity by combining hydrogen and oxygen atoms. The hydrogen reacts with oxygen across an electrochemical cell, similar to a battery, to produce electricity, water, and small amounts of heat. The great news is that hydrogen, which is produced via green means, is already bound to become cheaper than gas at the pump by 2026. There is also something else that I am just itching to tell you about. Right now, there are companies such as the LA-based Aquatic which have developed a technology that involves cleansing our oceans from CO2 and then turning it into a solid material that is easy to dispose of in the ocean itself. This makes the oceans healthier and able to absorb more CO2. The even more great thing about this technology is that the process of cleaning the ocean from CO2 produces hydrogen, or rather green hydrogen. As you already know, the world's oceans have absorbed about 30% of all CO2 produced since the beginning of the industrial age, and thus they are colossal CO2 sinks that mitigate climate change. So now, cleansing CO2 out of the oceans means they can absorb more CO2, and at the same time we get cheap green hydrogen to power our spanking new Toyota Crown sedans. That's like hitting 4 birds with 1 stone. So, we do believe that Toyota's obsession with hydrogen and related fuel cells is in its place, sound, and an excellent innovation that other automakers should really dive into right away. This is why Toyota's CEO Sato gave an outline of what he aims for 2 weeks before taking over as Toyota CEO in April 2023. He mentioned the importance of exploring non-BEV solutions. He said, "We want to ensure that hydrogen stays a viable option. We need a production and transport supply chain." Nevertheless, Sato is not discounting BEVs. He believes they will also play a crucial role in Toyota's future alongside hybrid and hydrogen vehicles. He is keeping more options open with flexibility. So, this is why Toyota has such a strong belief in hydrogen as the most optimal green and sustainable fuel for the automotive industry. Let's now look at Toyota's success in this niche and its upcoming sleek HFC EV Crown sedan. When Toyota launched its first HFC EV Mirai in 2014, no one really paid much attention to the car and technology for various reasons, such as the fact that hydrogen fuel stations were almost non-existent. Since then, the sales exceeded 23,000 units. However, the lack of action and support from governments across the world rendered the concept limited. It simply became a niche and automakers simply did not care. Well, except Toyota and a few other small players. However, things could change as Toyota launches its HFC EV Crown sedan and invests more in fueling stations. With an impressive range of 800 kilometers and superior exterior and interior design, the car is definitely bound to make a big buzz and just maybe wake up some giants from their BEV comas. But the fact remains, the fueling infrastructure is simply not there, especially in big markets such as the USA and EU. Even China is not all that much into the technology yet, with only 250 stations serving 1.5 billion people. Japan itself, the mother of Toyota, only boasts 161 stations. Meanwhile, in America, extremely few are present outside of California. In fact, there are 59 stations in California and only one in the rest of America. This is sort of mystifying because one would expect Toyota to possess no less than 1,000 stations in the USA alone. But we are keeping our fingers crossed, as the Crown sedan just might trigger a revolution with stations popping up all over the world. We bet that if Toyota receives a handsome sum of orders once the sedan is launched in the autumn of 2023, it just might begin investing a few $1 billion in fueling stations across top EV markets. Toyota is also not taking any chances. The vehicle will be also available as a plug-in hybrid powertrain version. The new Crown lineup will also have multiple body styles, including a raised sedan body style referred to as the crossover type. Toyota is so optimistic, it is quite certain that hundreds of thousands of its HFC EVs will be sold by 2030. The upcoming Toyota Crown is also quite impressive and sleek. It will be a dynamic combination of elements: the executive styling of a premium sedan, the flowing shape of a sports car, and the elevated cabin of an SUV. A cut above the familiar, Toyota Crown takes the premium sedan category in an entirely new direction. What do you think? Will Toyota's new and future HFC EVs lead to a revolution in the EV industry? Let us know in the comments section, and please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Thank you.